it still was not done at a fast pace. So they got there. The dragon was kind of dismissive of them at first. There was some decent checks, as far as I recall. Uh, we got invited into the cave, and Elaine and Taliesin were in the far back of the group initially until the dragon said yes, come in, and then they're like, I was invited. I no longer worry about getting charbroiled, because if I do, I'm going to be dead instantly anyways.
On the plus side, you probably wouldn't feel it since Ferrovax has the good grace to put his prey to sleep before he eats them.
Yep. Uh, we went into the hole. We found, or most of us saw like what appeared to be remnants of a temple, and we're not sure how that got there because it looks like it was made there, but it also looks like Fairvax has been living here for a long time. There was a lot of water on the ground. We went in. We got to see his horde. Some of us got a little too close into the horde area, and he looked a little perturbed. There was also an airship that was in
Half
his
an
horde.
airship.
Oh well, yes, the prow of an airship, the front half.
Back half, actually.
I thought it was the front half.
Nope,
Oh
back
well,
half, the engine
back half.
half.
Okay, so we don't know how the fuck the back half got in there, because as far as we've seen from the one entry we made in, there's no way that that fucking thing made it through the entrance we just came through. So we're concerned about. Some of us were concerned about that, but then Fairvax started clawing at a very specific place, like a puppy trying to dig towards a rodent, and kept mentioning worms and insects stealing from his horde. We agreed to go eliminate the issue, came down a tunnel, and found these nasty clay made teeth and eye fuckers called Zorns. At least I know that because of their title. But Taliesin has no fucking clue what they were called. They're just these aberrations of horror. And then there were these little tunnel worms that definitely fit the description that was given to us from Fairvax of the thing stealing. So we proceeded on killing everything that we could. There were some shenanigans with polymorph. Our Felix managed to not harm anything during the battle while also being very useful. And we had just gotten finished killing things, uh, and had a chance to look at the remnants and saw that a lot of the stones had or gems had cracks in them. It looked like they were starting to be eaten, and we had also kind of seen that starting to happen through the big mother father Zorn thing.
The big.
So we know that we have damaged goods that we're bringing back, and that is the quickest way could think of to sum up the game. Uh, but if anyone has any details I missed, feel free to jump in.
All
Well,
right,
that
any
covers
other
the latter
details?
half of game. First half of game, there was a lot of running around town, refuge rather. We had a day off. We chilled out. We meandered. Um, Kanani ran off and got into some trouble with some bergamot. I believe they managed to dodge Felix at points. Kanani discovered that Bergamot had a nest full of random stolen bric-a-brac. It looks like. Um, Not saying he's a chaos goose, but definitely something going on with that. Um, Built some stuff. Say wanted to put together a set of essentially sunglasses, goggles of day vision for her crush, and that turned out pretty well. Felix helped direct the party to the craft room and lent their hand in getting the prettiest glass and the nicest leather straps. And um, we had some team building and some team building.
Say team building and team building?
Building.
Building. Just
Team
building.
building and team building. We got the one of the earrings of sending was finished and handed off to Felix, who learned that they could fuck with people in stereo. He could fuck with people in stereo if he so chose. Got kind of weird for a minute, but now Felix is also equipped with the ability to hear and talk back. More importantly, to they're on the party line. That's the one. They're on the party line.
Felix has entered the chat.
I just remembered that Faravax has the magic token tooth currently for
I think he-
values of magic token has that include consumed. So that's
I
fine.
Didn't he like swallow it or put it in his mouth?
Sure did.
Nice. Pharaohvax is a G.
My note says Felix has given their magic token tooth to Faravax, who promptly eats it.
Those are good notes. Say got a new tattoo, or rather got a alteration to her existing tattoo.
Yeah, she got a cover up.
A little bit of blaspheming as a treat.
Turns out Shepard Drummond, the oldest living Dragonborn any of you have ever seen, is a very deft hand with tattoos.
Dragonborn don't get older, they just get better.
They just condense.
Drummond
They
would pat
condense.
you on the head for telling him that.
Ah, well, you know. If there's anything you learn in college, it's to suck up to older people who have authority. I think did Klinkle do some potion smithing?
I know I planned to, but I don't know if rolls got rolled.
I don't think rolls got rolled.
It'd be like an off-screen thing.
I remember Klinkle was going to work on that, and we'll revisit some roles later because, Rob, I believe I asked you to double check what Alicia wanted to make with those.
Right. There were some charts and numbers shared.
Yeah.
What else? That's all I can really remember. My note taking is not that good.
Okay, any other details from last game anyone would like to add?
No, that seemed a good summation for all the things I know.
All right. That sounds good. One last note of business. You get a inspiration dice tonight for helping locate some more useful modules for the forum.
Sweet.
Hell yeah.
Small announcement. The forum now has BBC code available in the quick reply bar, as well as a custom color palette that you can add your colors to for your various characters.
Oh, fan-fucking-tastic. That is so good.
That sounds fancy.
I really like the custom color palette. I've installed it on the Raiders board as well, and it's very useful. I like the fact that it actually does keep the colors between uses.
And it saves it between logins. So if you're using multiple logins for multiple characters, that character will have that favorite color, so long as you favorite it as that character.
We also have a module to post as NPC characters, but not entirely sure how it works yet. It's on the agenda.
Yeah, something to experiment with later.
ProBoards is
hell
kind of
yeah.
the foundry of forums.
It really is.
Good to know.
Okay, so all that is out of the way. We re-enter game moments after you finished dealing with Faravax's pest problem down in the cave beneath his den. There's a small stream running through it. There's glowing veins in the wall and fungi growing in the corners, and a plethora of broken gemstones and twisted pieces of metal kind of scattered all about here and there.
Rather than immediately investigate, I'm going to start tending to Emmett, who took a couple hits.
Elaine is going to hop over the river real quick, or the stream rather, just to investigate the bodies of the Zorn and kind of poke them with his stick. they just kind of fall apart into stone and dirt.
Do you have any idea what those are?
Let's see if he does. I have absolutely no idea.
So after the fight, Kanane is going to shift back into her human form simply because it's not really needed now that the enemies are deleted.
Some kind of rock monsters, elementals perhaps. I'm not familiar with this variety.
Those are elementals. They look fleshy.
Not all elementals are completely made of elements. Some are hybrids. They take on matter from the material world into their being when they cross over. These must have been here for a while.
What give you that idea?
He points at the remnants of the really big one. That one is pretty large.
Can I examine these creatures? Do they look? Because I don't think we actually really firmly established that they look like the creature that Faravax described.
You can tell without a check that the little ones in particular have a very they've got a kind of a worm-like appearance. They kind of match what Faravax drew, but you also get the impression he might not be a good artist.
Okay. Does he? The thing he drew had legs. That's why I was like, "Is this it?"
Yes.
It looks more wormy than centipede.
Gonna
Shoot.
say if
What kind of
we're
monsters
within
are they?
range of the with the tooth, can Felix send pictures?
I think it's auditory only. I think it's a spoken word only. I'm double checking. But Felix could certainly make a description.
Shoot, what was the name of those things? Do you remember, Rob?
Karga?
Yeah.
There they are.
Kargra.
They had graboid mouths.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring one out to kind of illuminate for the group. So the ones that are out of the ground, they do have a thick worm-like body, and they do have legs. They're not kind of like on the bottom like it would be with an insect, but there's kind of rings of legs kind of lower down their body, coming out from like all sides. So they've got a row of 4 legs that encircles them, and then another row of 4 legs behind that.
Say hates it.
Yeah, they look really weird.
Is it bad that like this seems like pet tier quality for a giant bird?
You beat me to it, Rob. Yep, that's the one.
Felix wants to walk up and look into like pull one of their mouth parts open
Yep.
and look down their throat and see if what they're like what they've got going. Like, do they have teeth? Do they have what's the tongue? Like, what's going on in there?
You see that the front part of their body, where their mouth is kind of a beak that splits open into 4 pieces. And behind the beak are rows of, they look like teeth, but they're blunted. And they are incredibly hard. They seem perfect for kind of munching and grinding. And it looks like they're most of their body beyond that is largely throat, and you can't quite see where the food goes.
Alistair, can you do anything with these? Like pointing at all the many teeth.
Oh, well, I'm going to cast Mending the first time and attempt to heal Emmett for a little bit, and then change gears to check out what's going on with the cargo over by Felix. These things don't look familiar at all, right?
Yeah, no, this is outside the realm of your familiarity.
All right.
Does Emmett still look still look battered, or is he all set by the time Alistair comes over?
Roll some dice for him. Okay. It looks like he's a little more than half-mast.
Here, let's trade, and I'll go keep casting mending on Emmett until he's back up to full.
Oh, you have mending too. Cool.
Sure do.
Hell yeah. I'm trying to think if I can use a tool of some kind to identify this thing. Its teeth. Do they look like they're made of metal? Do they look like they're made of gem?
Yes.
Can I roll like an Arcana check to see if there is? Well, to figure out what it's doing with all that gullet. See if I can
Sure.
intuit more about the creature.
Sure, I'm going to say Arcana with disadvantage because this is not
Yeah.
something you're remotely familiar with, so you're piecing together some arcane lore.
Ooh, damn. Okay. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Please, I know what your buffs are like.
All right, that's gonna be a 23.
Is that our Visa Lord token? Alright, well, we'll just ask back Ian for another one.
Yeah, see, I know what happens when you get disadvantage. You get only a 20. All right, you kind of assume the biology of this thing is completely off. There's nothing. It just doesn't seem to work right. So you assume that there must be some magic at work within its body that metabolizes whatever it eats. Judging by the way its body is made of these rock-like scales and the overall kind of earthy appearance, you can kind of surmise that it might be absorbing the minerals that it eats, and that the teeth in particular would have to be incredibly hard to be able to basically chew through gemstones and ores, as well as the muscle behind it. The amount of pressure that this mouth should be able to close around on things is pretty impressive.
All right.
Effectively
Well, it's pretty.
uniform.
It's pretty weird. Yeah, it's like a giant earthworm, except it doesn't seem to poop out the rock after it's done. It's like it's absorbing it magically after crushing it physically.
Perhaps that's why it's so huge. Nothing gets wasted, so it becomes its hide.
Oh, that's a truly terrifying idea. There's larger ones. Oh goodness. What can't it eat? With that 23, does it seem like there's anything useful to be pulled from it?
In your experience, most magical creatures have something of use to them. Generally, it seems kind of the general rule of thumb is whatever the creature is known for tends to be the most valuable part of it.
All right. I'd like to take one back if we can. Maybe pull it apart, study it.
The whole thing?
Well,
Well,
I was going to suggest bringing them up as proof that we did what we did. Also, while everyone was doing stuff, I would have taken off my cloak and started like gathering the remnants of metal and gemstones onto my just because Fairvax wants his hoard, and I want to make sure that I'm not going to mess that up.
You can see at a glance that there's too many chunks of things down here to fill just your cloak, but you can take a bunch and cinch it together.
If I see
Yeah.
him using his cloak, I'm gonna pull out the tattered Alarani cloak that I have in my inventory, random as fuck, and give him that instead.
I may not have it on the sheet, but that's what Tensor's floating disc is for.
Ooh, that could be interesting. You do have to climb up through the hole to get back to the lair.
I mean,
The thing-
climbing is pretty relative when you have spider climb.
And the
Do
thing,
I-
like, will hover behind you up an incline. So,
I have that prepared today.
well, depending on your wording on your rituals.
Yeah, I can always ritual cast that one.
Heck.
That's how we got so many of them.
Disc convoy.
Convoy.
We should show the people at the refuge that. I feel like they get a kick out of it.
Go sledding through the.
Oh my god.
Where do you think Felix got the idea?
I love it.
Elaine will help gather some things, some of the broken chunks, and combining them into the gathering pile.
All right. Well, we can bring some of these worms up to bring to Fairvex. Those big things, they're turning into dust. It looks like.
There's some sponginess underneath the deterioration, and he pokes the big one so you can see. And yeah, some of the rocky scales start to slough off, but there seems to be some resiliency beneath.
Emmett, can you grab some of that spongy chunkiness?
Emmett just walks over to the nearest Zorn and yanks off an arm.
Yoink.
Okay. Good job. Oh, good job. Oh goodness.
He holds up the severed arm for you.
All right, you just hold on to that for now. We're gonna bring it to Fairfax as an offering, and who knows? Maybe it'll be a sacrifice.
There's a snort from Elaine's direction.
I'll see if I can't heft this weird worm thing up and over one shoulder.
I will help him.
Jaeger is gonna just get one himself.
I will just cheer
Okay.
them on. I can't help with this.
So Say and Alistair, you come together to lift this thing, and you can barely budge it. It is heavy.
Oh man, even with a 16 strength?
Even with the 16, you're able to like lift it up, but this is like, it's heavy.
Ah, good golly!
Jaeger.
What is it? Rocks?
Jaeger, do you have that feature that lets you count as one size larger when carrying things?
I don't think so, but I'm checking right now.
It's called Powerful Build.
Passive. Yes, I do.
Okay. And what's your strength?
New page. Oh, this looks all weird. Here we go. 19.
Okay. So, Alistair, with your noodly arms, you can barely move this. You're kind of helping Say lift it up. Jaeger, when you go over, Say is able to help you. You're able to sling this over your shoulder, and it feels heavy.
Alistair, maybe you shouldn't try to lift this up. We don't need you to pull anything.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's probably for the best.
Is the tunnel back? Was it like about 10 feet wide, and just
Oh,
a short?
It was somewhere between like 5 and 10. It was kind of it was very narrow enough to where you could reach out and kind of like brace yourself against opposite sides as you were climbing down.
Right, can we check around to make sure there's no doors out of here or further tunnels? And then I would be very happy to get out from being buried alive.
Agreed.
Alistair, I seem to recall you had a special bag the last time we traveled together.
Yeah, the bag of holding.
There might be an easier way to carry that thing.
Just kind of glance at Jaeger and then glance at the bag. And is this thing small enough to fit in the bag of holding?
It's a medium creature.
Yeah, I'll see if I can't fit the damn thing in the bag of holding.
Thief of Glory!
Would you prefer to hold it over your shoulder?
Yes, actually.
Okay, well, I'll be happy to keep it out of my bag and away from my metal and stone goods inside the bag. You know, just in case the bullet to the brain didn't finish it. Did this thing have a brain?
I'll
Oh,
put another
gosh.
bullet into it just for show.
The sound of the gunshot just echoes throughout the chamber.
Yeah.
Ah, now there's a cautionary bullet.
Where's this go? I say, pointing towards this gap that appears to exist.
You see that
To
it
the
does
south.
look like a tunnel that starts to wind deeper into the mountain.
Right. All right. Let's go. Shall we go scout it then?
Sure, yeah. Jaeger, you gonna bring that with you?
If we're going scouting, I guess I need to put this in the bag.
Because I don't know if we're gonna come back this way. I just don't want you. Like, I'm not saying you should put it down. I just want it to
I'll
check. I was
put it
curious.
down as he makes a show of sighing and presenting it to Alistair.
Alistair opens the bag and grimaces and opens the bag.
If the
Alright.
scouts see anything, we'll tell you, and you can take it back out real quick and drape it over your shoulder so you look cool again. I mean, you still look cool. You'll just there's different kind of cool with your trophy.
See, Felix gets it.
I'm certainly glad someone does.
Oh, it's easy. You just have to pay attention.
Elaine snorts a little bit.
Alright, well, you guys scout. I think I'll hang back here. A lot of you can see really well in the dark. Myself, not so much. It might be a good idea to keep some people back here anyway, just in case there's more.
Right. Be aware and prepared on the earring to bolt down if we need assistance.
Gotcha. I'll prepare a torch just in case.
If we've got 10 minutes, I could get you some dark vision.
Alright, they can scout ahead. We can do that. And hopefully we don't need to use it.
That sounds fantastic.
Good luck. Hope you don't
Okay.
find anything.
I'll hang back to be defense for Alistair and the squishies.
I'll go back to working on Emmett in the meantime.
Elaine will follow after Say.
Felix is going to wait for Say, who is sneakier,
Yeah.
to
I'll
be up
stealth
front.
Up. Yeah. Safe to assume I will stealth up.
So there are two exits that you can see from this cavern. One is near Say, and one is near Felix. Both
Oh!
are.
Oh,
I didn't realize that Say was an exit. Is that a? Does that? Oh, you were about to describe it. I'll stop talking so you can do that.
They both look like tunnels that wind deeper into the mountain, although they are not lit at all within.
We'll check out Felix's first.
All right. Go ahead and roll stealth.
I walked right past that other one. I didn't even see it.
That's alright. We'll check that one out later. Stealth.
It's an 11.
25.
Okay. Felix, will you be stealthing alongside everyone?
I will. I had to scramble to get my dice out, and I have to scramble to do math. That is with guidance 25.
Okay. So Say and Felix kind of take the lead very quietly, keeping to the shadows and the sides, stepping lightly, pretty much completely silent as they move into the tunnel. Jaeger, you're coming along too as well.
Yes.
All right, with an 11, you kind of crouch down. You try to emulate them. They can still kind of hear your footsteps. Elaine follows after you, stubs his toe, curses under his breath, and stumbles a little bit. Not the quietest. The four of you head down into this tunnel. You find that it kind of twists slowly to the left, winds to the right, kind of dips down a little bit, starts to come up. And Felix, do you have dark vision?
Sure do.
All right. You and Say, as you start to come up this slight rise in the tunnel, both of you stop abruptly as the ground ahead of you just turns jet black, and you realize that there's a shaft here.
I mean, wait here for a moment. I'll see how deep it is. And I just do the
Okay.
David Bowie labyrinth, like walk over the edge.
I'll like put my arms out so that if the other two walk up, they'll bump into me. And hopefully stop rather than running me over.
I actually need to check something real quick. Okay, yeah. So Elaine comes to a stop just beside you, and you can see in the dark, there's a faint green light over his eyes that seem to grant him some measure of dark vision, very faint, as he kind of peers down the shaft after Say. Say, you start to head down the shaft, and 10 feet, 20 feet, 30 feet, you see cracks kind of leading away from the shaft, but nothing large enough to really be considered nothing that can really be considered a passageway or further tunnel. About 70 feet down, it starts to narrow, and you see ahead of you there is a floor of some kind that seems to be mostly mud or loose dirt. Chunks of broken stone are kind of scattered about. It doesn't seem to go anywhere, but it does seem to terminate with just soft earth and chunks of detritus.
Is it just a hole, or is it more room in here?
It seems like the shaft just kind of ends at this terminus. So there's no branching halls, there's no widening into a cave. It just kind of tapers down into this end.
Hold on, I'm checking my inventory for something.
Sure.
I'm gonna shoot at the bottom. Fuck it.
Okay.
Say got a 12 on her wisdom saving throw. She's kind of going for the most extensive, most direct answer. She wants to make sure that this isn't like a weird mouth.
Okay.
Because that is her nightmare.
The sound of a gunshot echoes up through the cavern, up through the shaft, kind of startling everyone at the top. You see the bullet plunges into the earth. There's a whoop of impact as dirt kind of flies and goes spattering off in all directions. Nothing moves.
Hey, what was that?
I'm making sure it's not a mouth or something. It appears to not be. And I'm just gonna head back up.
Thank goodness, that's pretty terrifying.
While Say's on her way back up, you have left me not alone with Elaine, but almost. So I have, Felix has a question.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Felix, Elaine, and Jaeger are at the top of this shaft.
Yeah. So Felix will nod emphatically, agreement with the giant mouth concept being terrifying. Like, Felix doesn't find it particularly unsettling, but definitely like that would be a bad time and place to discover that there is one that's in a giant mouth. And then we'll like turn to Elaine. So how do you know Alistair?
We met in Astor City. I met all of them in Astor City.
Well, that's cool.
How do you know Alistair?
I met him somewhere else. All of them else. A work camp. Is a city like a work camp? I guess I've been to one city, but only one city.
A war camp is like a small city.
Did you wear
Far more
disguise?
organized, fewer destinations worth visiting.
There was a picture that he showed me.
Oh,
Have you seen the picture?
I have. The one with the man who looks like me.
Yeah. Do you know anything about that? Is it you?
Yeah, the man in that picture is far too young to be me.
Yeah, but that's not what I asked. Like very cheerful and curious, all earnest expression.
He smiles a little bit at you. Why do you ask?
Because I think Alistair wants to know, and he didn't tell me I couldn't.
Ah. I do happen to know who that person is. I was hoping to speak with him about it at some point.
Was that at some point like today or tomorrow, or was that at some point like in 30 years when he asks you directly in a way that you can't evade without him knowing that you're evading him?
He chuckles a little bit. No, I suppose sooner rather than later.
How much older than Alistair is Elaine? Can I tell?
He looks like he's only a couple years older.
Oh.
He looks pretty young. He looks like he's in his like mid-20s.
Okay. Then I will not amend the 30 years. Okay, so I can stop asking you questions now, but I'll ask you more questions if you don't do the talking thing. So you can decide whether you'd rather talk to Alistair or talk to me. Again, very cheerful. Felix is happy either way.
If you don't mind, I have a question for you as well.
I don't mind.
He kind of motions towards your cloak. You're a member of the refuge, and the nature of your magic, it is divine in nature, yes?
I mean, kind of, I guess. Some of it. I don't really think about it too much. I just do it.
I was speaking with some of the others in the refuge, and there's a great deal of reverence for the Wanderer. I was hoping you might be able to assist me with the ritual later.
I'm not sure we think about the same refuge, because there's not really a whole lot of reverence for much of anything there. But what kind of ritual?
Surprisingly, that makes the refugees the... Refugees? Is that... No. What did you call yourselves? Travelers. That
Travelers.
makes the travelers the perfect followers of Kokinyo.
Felix nods cheerfully.
Well, I had a discussion with Telesin the other day regarding these relics that the others are after. I believe there might be a way that we can get insight on the location of some of them by speaking with the Wanderer himself.
Oh yeah, I think that was on my list.
Excellent. I could use your help with the ritual to call upon him.
You talk to him too?
I try not to.
I think that's how he feels about me, so I don't know if I'm going to be helping, but we can, yeah, sure, we can try.
Elaine chuckles. Oh, he will talk to you as much as he pleases if he knows you are receptive to it.
Yeah, yeah. It's just that how much he pleases is probably not often, but he's real busy. I mean, it's fine. It's normal. I think it's just he's very busy. So I don't think he's avoiding me or anything. I think he's just very busy. Are you dead down there?
Not yet.
Okay, let us know if you are. So yeah,
And
yeah. If you
Jaeger's just been like not, kindly not paying attention to the conversation, quote unquote. And at that he like turns around like, what?
I imagine Jaeger was like pretending to give them privacy even as he leaned over to keep track of the conversation.
I just didn't want to get distracted in case it turned out to be a giant mouse.
Say, you see it is definitely not a giant mouth.
Okay.
It seems the shaft is pretty empty.
I'm gonna climb. I'm not running back up, but I'm definitely speed walking back up. Nothing
Elaine
down
kind of
here.
waves over the edge as you come up and join them.
It's not a giant mouth, so that was
Fine.
that one nightmare that won't come true. Here.
I was just about to ask if it was a different giant body part, but maybe I won't.
Well, if it's ass, if it's its ass, it probably hurt more to put a bullet in it than its mouth.
I wonder what the other tunnel is. We had a nice talk.
What was down there?
Just dirt. The shaft just ends. I assume it was not completed.
Huh. Intriguing. All right, shall we check the other tunnel?
Yes, let's, and then we can leave. That would be fantastic.
Elaine just kind of gestures for you to lead the way as the four of you begin to head back into the previous chamber.
Yeah, I'm speed walking. I'm not bothering to stealth at this point.
I wave at the rest of the group as we pass through and give Alistair a thumbs up.
There was a big boom.
It's okay, nobody died.
Say still alive.
Precautionary bullet.
So warning shot and a precautionary bullet. Got it. I assume by now Klinkle would have popped dark vision.
She's almost there. It hasn't quite been a full 10 minutes.
Well, not much has happened here. Occasional settling of stones, but we're not dead either. So we're 1 for 1.
Excellent. Keep that up. And Elaine gives a quick thumbs up as he follows the speed walking Say into the other tunnel.
I'm gonna stealth down the other tunnel. But
And he will follow suit.
Same. Same with the stealth thing.
Oh
That's
my
not
God.
good. 10.
Oh my God.
21.
Okay. Jaeger, are you following them down this tunnel too?
Yeah. 18.
Okay. So, Say you are, of course, one with the shadows. Jaeger, this time you have a better feel for moving around through caves. Felix, you get distracted shortly into this cave as Elaine's foot catches on a rock and he trips, kind of bounces off the wall and lets out another curse as he face plants into the dirt.
I help him up. Oh, unless Jaeger gets there first.
No, go ahead.
That was all.
Elaine mutters several curses under his breath as he climbs to his feet and dusts himself up. I do not like caves. There are an exceedingly amount of rocks and dirt to trip on.
And you know the whole being buried alive thing.
It's just a cave. I mean, it's like being buried
Literally
alive would be
the
bad,
best.
but the rocks and things to trip on live here.
Would you like me to put a precautionary bullet into the rock?
All of them? I don't know if you have enough bullets.
Oh, the one that tripped him. Could
It's
be.
too
I have
late
a
for
better
precautionary. It
idea.
would be retaliatory.
He's going to pick up the rock, kind of toss it up in the air, and then sticks it in a pocket. I am going to make this someone else's problem.
Felix ducks.
Right. Okay.
Not one of you. I like you.
Thanks, I like you too.
I'll remember to quote that later.
What? Did you honestly think I did not like you?
No, I think everybody likes me, but it's nice to hear still.
Elaine is very much like completely biffing his attempt at stealthing as he follows.
Biffing, what the hell?
Oh no!
Wow.
Well, we have a
That
term
was
now,
not-
folks.
That was not the intent I wanted it. I meant by, but I'll stand by it. Oh my god. So say you're in front of the party as they banter. The tunnel, it gets dark as it starts to wind into the mountain, but then you see a growing light at the end. And as you advance the light, you see it shifts between an array of different colors. As you kind of creep up around the corner and peer out beyond the end of this tunnel, you see another cave. And in this cave, the first impression is that it's beautiful. The cave itself is covered in crystals of all kinds of different colors, kind of a rainbow array that all seem to radiate out from a point deeper into the cave. A point where there's a kind of a crack amidst the crystals, and you see faint flickers of orange light kind of flicker out from the crack. You see little bolts of little, almost like static lightning, kind of reaching out into the geode around this crack. It's, for a moment, you kind of soak it in, and you think back to what you saw of Aether Stones. This does not look like Aether Stones.
Right. I'm gonna put my hand to my ear. Whenever you get a chance, Alistair, especially you, if you could just make your way down here, there's something you should definitely see. Because I don't know what the fuck it is, and everyone else has been loud as hell anyway, so don't worry about stealthing.
Touch my earring. Okay. I've got to drink this distinct non-licorice flavored concoction. But once I've done that, I can certainly make my way through that dark and dare I say spooky tunnel you went through.
Watch out for rocks.
Watch out for rocks.
Elaine will come up and kind of peek over your shoulder at the cavern and then blink. What is this?
I don't know, and when I don't know, I just ask Alistair, so he's on his way.
Elaine steps past you, doesn't enter the chamber, but just kind of moves around you to get a better view. One hand on his hip, the other on his staff as he squints into the chamber. Huh. All right, Alistair and those in the cave. Alistair, you've been summoned. By now, Klinkle has finished her ritual for dark vision.
All right. I'll slug back the non-licorice black liquid. Grimace a lot. And make my way down the path that the others have gone down. All right, Klinkle, Kanani, Taliesin, Emmett.
Yeah, I'm following.
Let's stick together. I'll have Emmett take up the rear.
All right, Kanani and Klinkle accompanying you.
Oh yeah, I want to follow. I want to see what it is.
All right. So the second squad follows after Alistair as you wind down through this tunnel that grows darker and then lighter. And you come across the others on the entryway, the portal into this cavern of multicolored geodes, faintly pulsing light, and flickers of energy leaking out of this fissure on the far side of the cave.
I'll head in because it feels like it'll probably get really crowded at the tunnel mouth. So I'll just, like, take a step in and to the side.
What in the world?
Elaine enters alongside you, say, and points at the crack on the far end of the room. Don't go near that yet.
Like I said, if I don't know what the hell it is, I ask Alistair.
And
Alistair
this
looks
particular
around.
cave is fairly... It's large enough. If everyone wanted to fit in there, they could. With a little extra space, and all the walls are covered with these multicolored crystals.
Well, it's bright and it's large. It's a large cavity.
Mostly worried about the giant crack that's spitting lightning at us. Well, not at us, but, like, around.
Oh, is that what that is? This lightning. Okay, I'm not seeing things.
It is not lightning per se.
Certainly
Well,
not
per se,
natural.
it is lightning, but not per se lightning. Yes, wordplay. Alistair, what do you recall? Did you do much planner studies at the Lyceum?
Well, to some extent, yes. Primarily demi-planar mechanics, but I have gotten around with a couple of books here and there.
What do you recall?
Should I roll for this?
Roll for it. Arcana.
Roll for it, Arcana.
Straight rolled.
Straight roll. It's an 18 on die, so 31.
31. All right. All right. You move forward a little bit, not getting close to the crack, but just getting a sense of things. And you notice how the pulses of light in this room seem to be coming from this crack on the far side. And the crack itself is maybe a jagged 3 feet amongst the crystals, where the crystals seem to get smaller leading in towards the crack. You can feel like the hair on the back of your neck start to stand up as you get close to that crackling energy. And you think back to what you learned about planner studies, and you start to run the equations in your head. You think about your own treehouse, and realize that when planes intersect, there's a great degree of energy at work. Energy that will typically manifest in the nature of the plane it's connecting to, unless it is redirected through some other means, through runic work, through ritual. Basically, all that energy, when utilized correctly, creates stable portals, stable connections to demi-planes and other planes, and so on and so forth. But when that energy is unstable, then things start to get weird. That's when there's bleed through from whatever plane is being connected to. And you look around this earthen cavern, you see the crystals kind of emerging from the walls. You look back the way you came and think about the elementals that you encountered in the other room, and you look back at the jagged tear on the far wall, and you come to the conclusion that this might be a planner breach of some sort.
Oh. Okay. Alistair's brows just lift up on his forehead like fuzzy caterpillars as he looks at the lightning and the jagged hole. And I think that's a tear, a rip, a fissure. And he points at the lightning. The elemental plane of Earth. It's like this one, but it's stonier and with more crystals and with more things like those things in the other room. It's the level of reality. And at that point right there, maybe due to the other stones around us, maybe to the chains and just the weave being a little funky here, it's overlapping. And at that point right there, it's bleeding through.
So what's on the other side? I'm going to move a little closer and peek at it.
Presumably the elemental plane of Earth or one of the tertiary planes.
Never been there.
Felix, as you move closer, you start to feel that same kind of ambient power in the air start to like lift the hairs on the back of your neck, and that feeling of being close to like a live electrical wire.
Is there anything visible or audible or otherwise detectable, or just a sense of power?
Occasional crackling as the orange lightning kind of emerges from that rift to dance among the crystals around it. It doesn't go far. It doesn't lash out into the air. It's like the crystals are channeling that energy into the room.
So is it because of those, pointing at the crystals, or are they because of it, pointing at the chasm?
Alistair points at it and nods. The hole, I believe, has made this happen. If you look at the crystals in all these different colors, typically speaking, you would find patches of specific colors. Red for magnesium, purple for lithium, so on and so forth. These are rainbows. This is not natural. Bands of colors like this, yes, they can happen, but perfectly symmetrical, spherical, and ubiquitous. Yeah, this is magic. It's definitely the effects of magic at work. Powerful, raw, planar magic.
So, the things we fought came from there?
Probably.
How do we close it? If we do not, they will come back, and the dragon will be upset.
Alistair scratches the back of his neck. Elaine
kind of rubs his chin.
I'm not sure.
Barrelbacks about this, and he's the proud new owner of a planar rift.
He did not seem able to get down here, though.
Yeah, he is quite large.
I mean, not through the hole we came through, but...
Should we make the how do we make the hole bigger?
Well, maybe if I can click closer and study it. Alistair's going to approach the hole in the lightning cautiously.
Do I know if
I'm gonna
drag?
Oh, go ahead. I'm just gonna put a hand on Alistair's shoulder.
Alistair just kind of brandishes his shield a little bit and gestures to his protection.
Go ahead, Felix.
Do I know, are dragons in this lore able to take other shapes, or is that not a part of this lore here in this world?
Oh, give me a Arcana check or nature check or history check, something that you feel Felix would understand, would have gained this knowledge from if he gained it.
Not great at any of those. Would religion count? Not my religion specifically, although it does seem like
dragons are kind of the heart of every religion on Mobius, so religion will count.
22.
22, okay. So this knowledge would come from one of the religious books at the refuge, as they talked about the elder dragons and their distant relationship to the dragons of the realm. And from the stories you read, it did suggest that some dragons, particularly the gods, but some dragons were capable of changing their shapes. But you don't recall there being mention of all dragons being able to do it. It seemed like there was definitely some division there.
That makes sense. And Fairfax, Felix does kind of suspect that if he could get down here, he would have so done. Do you want me to tell him?
Well, he should know that he's sitting on top of whatever all this is.
All right, magic token time. So it's effectively the sending spell. Hi, it's me. We took care of some of that's 10. Your problem? New problem. There's maybe a hole in the planes here? More soon. That's 25 on the nose. If I
Okay.
counted right.
With your token, remind me, is he able to communicate back at all, or?
Let me double check. I think it's one way.
Yeah, I think it's one way.
Yeah, the tooth is one way, but
Yeah.
the other thing is two ways.
Yeah, this was just the magic token. Not actually casting sending.
So you've definitely got the impression that the message was received.
Okay, I told him, but we'd have to like, I don't know if I could get an actual something that he could respond to through. So, but I told him, and I'm not hearing him, and I'll listen. I'm not hearing him like roaring at us down the hole. So that seems like either a good sign or a very, very bad one.
Yeah, he can yell pretty loud.
Generally speaking, unstable portals between planes are not a very good thing. The planes are kept separate for a reason, and for a breach, and he kind of gestures towards the crack in the lightning, this does not seem very stable.
It certainly does not. It's crackling angrily. Alistair pauses for a few moments and kind of stares at Elaine.
I don't suppose any of you know how to close a planar breach.
Yes, of course, they cover that in basic training and third level espionage.
Yes, I learned that while I was rigging ships and keeping people out of bars. Your turn.
Elaine points a finger at Felix. This one is best friends with the dragon, and we are in its lair by invitation. Anything is possible today. That
We could try diverting the power.
I was thinking of something very similar myself.
Okay, you first.
He snorts a little bit. This is raw magical power. This is a very primal sort of power. There are magic users amongst you, but I'm afraid I have not traveled long enough with you to know exactly the nature of some of your talents. Is there anyone among you who proves particularly adept at the manipulation of magic?
Kanani
Kinda-
wiggles her fingers.
Glance at Kanani.
Say just points at Kanane.
Pause and kind of look toward Taliesin as well.
Taliesin, you draw your powers from nature, yes?
Yes.
Kanane, what is the source of your power?
Well, I would tell you, but I do not know.
Ah,
Oh,
you're
you
one
too?
of those.
That's great.
I think there might be something here. And he'll look at you, Alistair, and then look at Kanane and Taliesin. Telesin's magic is linked to the nature of this plane. Konane, your magic, is there any particular focus to it? Is it aligned with a particular element or anything like this?
My magic is anything I want it to be.
Excellent. I think the two of you might be able to attend to this. He kind of rubs his chin again and turns to look at the rift. Alistair, you have a bit more schooling than I do in such things. What if magic was drawn out of this rift? And he motions towards the sparking electricity, like energy discharges, and channeled through a magic user and redirected back into it with an anchor on this side, essentially forcing the energy back through.
Alistair knits his brows, kind of quirks his jaw to the side. Pull magic out from that end, shunt it back through. I would give it a place to go. If this is anything like a runic circuit, rebounding, then an additional circuit could potentially stabilize it. Yes, in theory.
Jaeger seems to be motioning towards the bag of holding.
He hands the bag of holding over to Jaeger.
Jaeger's gonna just sift through as they do their thing. And come up with his javelins.
Elaine is watching Jaeger and the javelins and trying to figure out how they might be useful.
Alistair, how dangerous is such a maneuver?
Exceptionally, I would say quite dangerous. This is a planar breach we're talking about. It's a small one, but it's, to put it this way, a rebound in terms of runic. Even a small enchantment rebounded can disfigure someone, maim them.
Right, okay.
Oh, I didn't mean to do that.
In that case, perhaps could you just drain it somehow into, I don't know, something like a small hole in a bucket? Keep the bucket from overflowing? I don't know. Magic is weird.
Jaeger takes his javelins and points it at the hole, getting increasingly close. Stick this in it. I want to see what happens.
Yeah. No.
Wait, no. He's. Oh, I think that might actually work.
Stabbing it?
No, an intermediary, an antenna. If one were to, that is an iron tip, yes.
Yeah.
All right, iron is an earth material. Rather than get up close and touch the thing and potentially get pulled in, I'd wager that if I were to wedge one of those in.
How about lead?
Lead?
You want to shoot it?
I mean, I'm kind of in a mood and I want to shoot everything, so.
Well, we could certainly try. If one were to somehow connect to it, channel the magic, then you may be able to use that magic to then close it. I kind of gesture toward the spear.
Right, then a ranged weapon won't do it. It'll have to be like that.
I think that's the idea. Unless you can connect with your bullets.
Why not just throw the javelin at the hole? You get a 2-for-1. You close the hole and you get a magic weapon. I have clearly rolled very low on my wisdom. So
I do not think it works that way.
why not?
I
Magic.
I draw out my wand
Okay.
and I look to Alistair, to Kanane. So, do you need me to? I'm confused. Is Konani the conduit shooting it back, and I'm just taking energy and grounding it to the earth, or is Konane taking it, passing it to me, and I'm shooting it back? How does that work?
Taliesin, you have the ability to mold the earth right now, yes? Rocks, stones, even crystal, right? That spell you mentioned to potentially cave in that mine.
It only affects stone and dirt. I can turn dirt into mud, stone into mud, which is eventually then dirt, or mud/dirt back into stone. I can't affect crystals.
Right, but ultimately it's manipulating earth.
After a fashion, yes. I can also just use the same shape stone spell that I had used with Felix to make the doors and in the caves, which is more focused on just closing, but I don't know how that would affect a tear in reality.
Magic itself is the application of your will onto the world around you, right? So suppose you were to connect to this and pull that power into you. If that spell allows you to move earth around, to shape it to however you will it, maybe you might be able to force this shut by willing it to.
Using the power of the planar breach to
close itself.
Charge up the spell being used to close it. I think that could work.
Oh hell, it's interesting. And I know magics to fix situations. So sure, why not? And I will actually move closer to the tear.
I would say one word of caution. I think this idea will likely work. But if there is a way to amplify the power that you are channeling, I think the odds of being able to pull it off successfully might increase. Essentially, the more power we can draw and push into your magic spell, the greater the odds that it will be able to force this rift close.
Well, I can manage my spell at the strongest that I can cast it. I look around. I know that Felix sometimes has the ability to help people do better at things. I don't know if that might help.
Felix is kind of like tilting their head side to side, like thinking. I can do things like that. I was also thinking, what do you think you like with the energy? Do you need like an explosion, or do you need? I'm trying to think if there's something. Felix is trying to figure out if there is a way that you can use glyph of warding to
Huh.
amplify or move. Like as written, it fires off additional spells. Like it's sort of like a save later spell effect, but there is like an explosive rune option, and Felix is wondering if he can sort of use that to, rather than just sort of raw magical explosion, use that to sort of help channel the energy
Ooh.
of.
Interesting. Okay. It does note that the explosive rune releases magical energy.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's possible. Stepping back a little bit to elaborate on the mechanics kind of facing you, as assuming all the characters are kind of spitballing ideas and communicating this, but on a meta level for the players. So this is a unique area where magic is malleable. The breach in the planes is creating an excess of magical power that can potentially be channeled into almost whatever way you want. I am open to ideas from any characters who want to contribute to this attempt
If,
on how. Go ahead.
if it's making spells more powerful, do we want to abuse the situation a little bit and reach out to various allies to get a status update while we can before we close it?
Oh,
Attempt
that's an
to
interesting idea.
Attempt to use sending in this area of power.
Basically, that would be my thought.
That's interesting.
And Say would offer it up as maybe if we use it up a little bit, it will be less likely to rebound or be unpredictable.
Super interesting.
Is there a way to know how much? Like, is there a quantifiable amount of energy to use up?
It's based on what you're seeing. This rift has been here long enough to affect the cave with all these crystal growths. So it's kind of impossible to quantify things exactly. From a meta point of view, chances are there'd be some kind of check to see how much energy you can draw off and power into your spell.
Just saying, we could check in with Skyhammer, and we could check in with Kelmar.
I mean, sending only works if you know the person technically. Do we have someone else other than Felix that has sending currently?
No, but Say has minor illusion and can use it to tell Felix all about, like, Janica.
Kanani can also use her dancing lights to make into somebody, like a figure or
Glowy person.
a glowing person, but in detail.
There's
Glowy
also
friend.
prestidigitation.
And Kanani also has prestidigitation too.
Yeah, I think
So
most of the party does at this point.
yeah, I swapped it out and grabbed it because I'm like, Kanani would want this from
It's
the
the
get-go.
most useful cantrip in the world.
Followed closely by mending.
We know Janica, we know Glimmerwing. I don't think we'll get a hold of Orin Forgefire. He's off in Aster doing fuck knows what.
But I mean, so if this powers up spells, we could maybe use it.
Should we try to
for our own
contact?
benefit first before we try and close it.
Should we try to contact Hastos or Ilrine or Gaddock?
Yeah, that's what. Say would recommend Ilrine
Yeah.
and Janica probably as are most likely to give us concise and direct information.
It is certainly possible.
And Say is willing to write out the message for Felix to read directly. Say is
Do we want
willing
to take
to get.
5 and
Say is willing to get Alistair to write out the message that she would send directly.
Oh, yeah, I can count to 25. I went to college. I think it's worth a shot.
I mean, it's kind of up to Felix, but you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Felix is willing. Doesn't really know these people, so would need to know who they're casting to and who to send. Yeah, and what we tried to say. But yeah, that's true. Did meet Ilvain.
Ilrene is definitely, you know that barring interference, you can definitely get a hold of Ilrene since you do know her. Janica is someone that the party would be describing and presenting to you. So the chances of reaching her will be more difficult, but you are drawing upon more power to try and push this spell. So
If we're doing all this, how many times can Felix do sending?
Just double checking this. Looks like I technically now I have 5 spell slots that I could use if I wanted to burn through all of my 3rd and 4th level slots. I would prefer not to burn through all of them, but
Because Kanani would want to try and contact her mother.
Ooh.
oh, interesting. Yeah, I mean, given a sentimental reason, like I don't like in the neutral sense of sentimental, like given a personally compelling reason, Felix would happily invest a spell slot in that.
So
All right, so that's
Felix,
three spell
Felix,
slots.
Felix is much more generous and less cautious than Hannah is. So, yeah, three would be fine.
All right. CC, write up your 25 words. 25 words for Janica and 25 words for Ilrene.
I'll work on the ones for Ilrene.
All right.
Should we get
who
word
wants
out to Eldamri too?
I think we have a very limited.
I think if we know what's going on the Meraki side, we can kind of suss out what's happening on the Alarani side. Though I am curious to know what happened to that one Alarani who got away, whose name I can't remember.
Kaith.
Kaith, that's the one.
She went north last we knew.
Probably joined up with the bad people in the Atori forest.
chances are she hasn't gotten that far since there's a lot of mountains in her way. But she
no.
was moving in that direction.
I was more thinking of letting him know that we were in possession of the Fang and that things are moving along. But it is not as pivotal, so I will just wait on you, and while I'm waiting, I'll just keep like twisting the wand in my hand, occasionally moving it towards the jolting bolts of lightning, kind of figuring out how I want to reach it out to grab one and then use it for the channeling. Just trying to figure out the best way to do it without making myself fall in towards the damn portal.
Which actually reminds me, Felix will watch Taliesin do that, and look over at Alistair. Could you do that thing with your racers where I give you a spell and then you give the spell to somebody else?
Oh, the spell has to go into an item with that. But he kind of gestures toward Kanani. She's got a ring that'll hold the spell.
But could you give it to Taliesin, or does it you have to like be real cozy with the ring before it works for you?
Oh, you'd have to be cozy with the ring.
And Taliesin, you don't have anything that could take an additional spell?
I have nothing that can channel spells specifically, no.
Okay, well then just be careful. I was going to help you with the lightning, but I'll just do this other thing instead.
It's fine. My face is covered in metal.
That seems bad for lightning.
Just
Cool, we'll find out.
like lightning does.
That was the joke.
I couldn't tell, but it was a good joke. Sorry about that. If you want to say it again, I will laugh.
That's okay. My delivery was terrible.
Felix gives you the look of he believes in your sense of humor, even if he didn't recognize it.
Does this message pass muster?
That looks good.
I see you left one word for me to say someplace by accident. That's
Yes.
smart.
Oh, that's. When did the colors start showing up on the post? Because it wasn't there earlier, and now it's there.
Colors around people's text boxes.
Yeah, because like 46 minutes ago, Alistair Fields has a gray, and now Alistair has the orange of your coloring.
I don't know.
According to my time thing, 53 minutes ago is when it started.
Okay. It must just been a glitch in the way it was showing to each person then.
Yeah, it's supposed to always show the color. I don't know why it wasn't.
I mean, the in-character one's still not doing it in color.
I mean, I think past stuff.
It might
43
gray out after a while.
Yeah.
43 days ago, it turns gray for me.
20 days ago, your
With your sending plan, are you sending to Janica first or trying Ilrene first?
I think Ilrene is more pressing.
I'm still writing a message.
Got it. Just want to make sure I get the order correct.
Yeah, I'd vote Ilrene first if it has a higher chance of succeeding.
Sorry, it's gonna take me a second.
All good.
No worries.
Actually, you know what? This is a good place for a quick 5-minute break. Basically, I just need to use the restroom real quick. So, 5-minute break. 5 minutes, 9:06 ish.
Okay.
Cool. Be right back. All right, I'm back.
And I
Welcome
finished
back.
my message, and I also left a place for one discretionary
I got at least room for 3
Is Opie at his computer?
He's just
He's
getting
just
back.
sitting down now.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
I am back.
Welcome back. Taliesin has a idea and will need
Oh, no
Alistair's
shit.
help. And it's not a
Okay.
happy idea, but it's from a player from a outside of my character perspective, it's something that should work. But my character has no idea how shit works other than, hey, that's lightning.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Alistair finishes kind of plotting some words in his head and catches Talisman's glance.
I'll pull out my my golden brooch that I had retrieved from my family home, and then I'll take out my quarterstaff, and I'll look. I'll move closer to Alistair. I'm not good with anything really. I know that you've mentioned using gold in specific applications before, and I know that metals tend to be very conductive. Could this be mounted to my quarterstaff that I used to channel through and become lightning rod, so that I use that to take an energy spike and then just channel it out through my wand? Does that make sense? Does that sound like it would work?
Anything would be safer than touching it with your bare hands. And
Do you
gold?
happen to have an Aether Stone?
Do we happen to have an Aether Stone? He says. Open up the bag of holding.
Oh, you weren't here for that, were you?
Actually, so what voice did you just ask that in, sir?
It is Elaine.
Okay, because that did not sound like Elaine. I was suddenly
I just
wondering
finished.
where our drow friends came by.
Just pointing out, the only thing better than a metal conductor is an Aether Stone conductor.
And well, since Jaeger has the bag, he's gonna get the Aether Stone.
I think Alistair just like tried to yank it from Jaeger's hand
And
to take that
did
out.
not work because Jaeger's a large man. Fish through
Tries
with
to
Jaeger. Pull it.
yank it. Jaeger just yanks the bag and pulls Alistair towards him.
Oh,
Oh,
Victor.
yeah,
Uh,
the yellow Aether Stone that we just got, right?
Right, we've got a couple of
And-
fist-sized pieces.
as these knuckleheads figure out how to close the portal, Felix, are you going to attempt your first message?
Do we have the Ilvine messages first?
yes.
Did I remember that correctly? Okay.
And
Yeah.
question about sending, does like holding something of theirs help?
The wording is familiar.
Okay.
It doesn't have.
I couldn't remember if it was that or scrying. I'm pretty sure scrying.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. It
Scrying.
is a.
Yep,
I'm
this
trying
is
to
just
cast it into the. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's very squishy.
That's fine. Okay.
But I've met Elvine, so less
Yeah.
stuff needed. If it's gonna go, it should go, and we'll see what happens. So yeah, Felix casts sending to Elvine, and
Okay. And
is
Felix is doing so by attempting to channel the raw power in the room, correct?
I mean, Felix doesn't really know how magic works, so Felix is cast like it can feel the power in the room, so like is trying to be in touch with it and is casting, but doesn't have like
So
there's not a lot of science to Felix's casting. It is pretty
that's fine.
intuitive.
This is very kind of squishy magic. The way that Elaine and Alistair have been explaining it, but
But
Felix
yeah,
would
they're
get
they're certainly aware of what of the they heard what everyone was saying about sort of both what's what's
yeah.
possible and
So
what the
Felix
goal
would
is.
get the
So.
impression that if these electrical, well, pseudo electrical discharges are the source of magic in here, probably that would be what he would want to channel to supercharge his spell.
Okay, I guess I switched lightning.
All right. Felix creeps forward, prepares their spell, reaches out towards the sparking power from the crack. It takes a moment, and a bolt of this orange lightning suddenly leaps from the crack and strikes Felix's outspread hand. I need you to roll an Arcana check.
Cool. Does it hurt? Or is that what we're about to find out?
We are about to find out.
But if
Okay.
if I just want to clarify, if sending is one of Felix's cleric spells, would it be religion instead?
That's a good question. I'm much better at one of those than the other.
Using the
Like if it
power
was a
of
wizard, one of
It is
one
a
of-
cleric spell, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if it was one of his wizard spells, I could see Arcana, but like maybe.
So, I'm going to say, you know what? This isn't even a refined skill. So I'm going to say instead of rolling a skill, you're just going to roll your ability modifier. So just you use wisdom. So this will be a wisdom.
This, yeah. Whoa, yikes. Sorry, my dice tried to get away.
Remember your
20
portents.
21. You don't want me using my portents on this, not today.
Oh no.
Okay.
2 and a 3. 21 is the wisdom check, though.
All right. 21. I need you to roll one of your hit dice.
I don't remember what my hit dice are. They're somewhere on here. I think it's a D. Oh wait, they're I'm just gonna roll it on the thing because I don't know what they are. Oh, that's cool. Complicated though. I don't situational. No. 5.
Okay. So I'm just going to take that roll. So you lose one hit dice and you take 4 damage. You feel the energy from this bolt of power surge through you, and you immediately release that spell you've been holding, and you feel numb for a brief moment as you feel this energy travel through you and suddenly get cast into the atmosphere as you cast your sending spell. Your hair stands up a little bit. Go ahead and read the message for the recording.
Does a startled yelp count as a word?
You have room for 1 yelp.
I sure do. Startled
Go
yelp
ahead.
on the beginning of it. Good work, Heather. Good work, Say, as well. So beginning with startled yelp. This is Valor Company arrived safely, facing 5 confirmed action zones, approximately 2 weeks until Kier. Any updates there? You can reply 25 words. And then looks at Say, that didn't sound like me. Is she gonna know who it was? And then just like shakes himself all over like a dog shaking off
To
after a
be fair,
rain.
there's very few people who would contact her like that, so I would assume yes.
I guess we'll find out.
Also, are you okay? You're kind of
Right. Are you?
Your hand is smoking a little bit.
smoking. You're kind of smoking.
Not
Yeah.
much.
Oh, I wonder if I
Yeah.
can do that thing. And I'm gonna like throw my hand forward in like a magic-y gesture and see if I can cast fireball, like I've seen other people do with fire from their hands. I do not have fireball on my spell list, so unless there's something strange, but I don't know.
If I was smart, I would have prepared this response in advance, but here we are. One moment, please. Talk amongst yourselves.
Oh,
Konane, I don't see your message in the OOC chat, or
It's up there. You just gotta. It's. Oh, never mind. It isn't.
We're posting him in there. Okay.
unless Felix wants to cast it into the ring, and Kanani cast it herself by touching the wizard hole.
Ooh, that would give me goosebumps.
While we're between RP sessions, basically Felix has absorb elements and is happy to cast that into whatever might be helpful before someone else does anything with the lightning.
Someone's going to be an elemental by the time the session's over. You count as humanoid and elemental for all effects that refer to elementals.
Okay. So a few moments after you cast that message. So, and you're casting it at what level?
3rd.
Okay. So you channel that power up into the world around you, and you're accustomed to feeling that that barrier block you. This time, you don't feel that barrier at all. It feels like it's hard to express to your companions, but it feels as though the energy is being cast through a different medium of some sort, as though working on a completely different frequency in some respects. And then you get a response as two things happen at the same time. First, you hear Ilrine's voice in your head. Huh. Magic. Kane returned a day after you left. Hard to tell his mood, but the army is being recalled and he has sent word to the naval captains. Word has spread of peace with the Alarani. There's a funeral for the fallen today. Rumors of ruinous influence abound. The second thing requires you to roll a D100.
Okay. And Felix would basically recite that message out loud as it comes in. So everyone would be getting it word for word. 21.
Okay. So everyone in the room feels a kind of Oh.
DM, we didn't get all of, I wouldn't have gotten all of that. I would have gotten.
Oh, you know what? I was calculating.
You were
this
using
based
your
on
fancy things. I would have
my
gotten that
fancy thing.
much.
25 words.
So that's
Yeah, I
what
was about to say that too.
That's what Felix would have said aloud,
Right.
and then like looked confused.
Did warn Ilri there was 25 words.
Yeah, that's true. That was in the.
Yeah. So Ilrene would provide a response in 25 words. That was my mistake, not the characters.
All right, redo.
Sorry about that.
That's the gist of what we get, but in 25 words or less.
Yes. Let's
Okay.
see.
Yeah, we
Probably
can
go
just
to the
we'll
funeral.
just we'll give the DM a gimme for now.
That's fine. Yeah.
But-
So.
He
She
should
trimmed
know-
the snark. We're good.
He'll know better for next time.
25.
I mean, this is also a magical portal rift. It's totally it's totally possible that it is empowering more than we think, and we're artificially limiting ourselves. But people can reply with more words. Who knows?
Oh, it's certainly doing something. As everyone in the chamber feels a ripple kind of emanate from Felix. You're
Oh,
not.
no.
Everyone feels something has happened, except for Felix. Felix, you don't feel anything beyond that jolt that you felt. There's been some kind of shift, but no one can really identify what it is.
Nothing
Does that
visible.
feel
Do I
familiar?
recognize this?
Does that feel familiar to Kanane with wild magic?
Ooh.
Konane, you this feels familiar. You feel a ripple in the weave, a ripple in magic. There's
Huh.
no visible effect. Everyone feels that something has happened, but it's nothing bad, apparently.
Okay, I think that worked. I mean, I know it worked because I told you what she said. Yeah. Okay. Who's next?
Alistair looks between himself and Kanani. Are you sure you want to go again? You're still smoking just a little bit.
I mean, yeah, I think it's fine.
All right.
I mean, it's kind of cool. Like, I haven't been able to talk to people. I mean, I've been able to talk to you all. Like, I don't mean that. I just haven't been able to talk to people this way. So it's cool. Yeah, no, I'm good.
All right. Well, I think I'll go next then. Janica, she's a princess, but she's not like a regular princess. She's very rough and tumble. She's a warrior princess, actually. Very strong, very
Do you
good at what she
Need me to
does.
tell her that it's okay to just be a regular princess? Like, there's nothing wrong with
Um,
being a girl.
No, but I suppose addressing her don't.
I mean, she doesn't
treat her
have
too
to be
much
if she
like a
doesn't want to be.
princess.
I just. Okay.
Well, she's a dwarf.
She's a dwarf, so respectful, but not too respectful. You know what? Just do what you do. I think you have the perfect inflection just the way you are. And I'll read off my message.
Okay, I'm casting sending. Do I roll a thing? Roll the thing again?
Yes. Another wisdom check.
Cool. Let me deduct the spell. Ooh, that's not as good. 11.
Ooh.
11. All right. I need you to roll 2 hit dice.
I never had this many dice out for Felix at one time in my life. Total of. Oh wait, does this include my?
Does not include your modifier.
Okay. Then total of 8.
All right. 1 second. So there's another jolt of power as you reach forward to enervate your spell. This one burns a bit. You take 8 damage, and you're feeling drained. Like you feel like you can keep going, but you're not quite fatigued, but you're not quite feeling. Yeah, you're feeling weird right now. You're swaying a little on your feet. But you feel that power surge through, and once more you're able to send your message.
Okay. Jenica Valor Company here. Rare opportunity to communicate. Discovered massive ruinous operation in Smuggler's Vale. What news of your father and the war north? Yeah, that one stunk a little bit.
Yeah, you're looking a little crispy.
Like swaying on my feet just a little bit.
I'm gonna move up and try to brace Felix. Not like quite touching him, but like kind of there in case he falls over.
Felix cheerfully throws an arm around your shoulders.
Hey, in earnest, he props up Felix.
Okay. So you do get a response. This response feels kind of a little echoey, kind of fading in and out like bad reception. But you are able to make out the words. What? Ah, magic. Da's gone to Aster. The human king's gone all stubborn. We secured the forge. Strange tidings from the elves. Your doing?
Why does everybody you hang out with not like magic? Or maybe they're just confused by it. I guess I don't know that they don't like it. They're just surprised, maybe.
Maraki
I
don't
think-
generally bother.
The dwarves are really more about practical sciences.
Isn't that what you do
I mean,
with magic?
when it comes to
Well-
Mareki and dwarves, they have very similar outlooks on many things, and never tell anyone that I admitted that.
They think in straight lines. It's a
Very much so.
yeah, it's a good thing.
You don't really bother with firebolt if you can just axe someone to the head.
I mean, they seem like they have different purposes, but interesting. Okay. Do we need to answer her, or do we just go on and do something else?
I think we can leave her
Let's leave her
to.
yeah.
Yeah, she'll figure it out. She already has half a mind.
It is a mystery.
Okay. So what was there something else, or was it just letting Taliesin electrocute himself?
Konane had a message, I believe.
Felix turns expectantly towards Konane.
Right, Felix, you're looking pretty crispy. Kanari, do you have any room left in that ring of spell storing? Maybe you could let Kanani try this one. And, you know,
I think I do. I think it was used up when we traveled.
I mean, I'm happy to do it. I don't mind, unless it's private and you would rather do it yourself. Like, because I don't mind that either. Like, either way is good.
It might be better if I contact her.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot. Felix, roll a D100 for me.
Cool.
Oh,
I'm just hoping
Seven-
that we land on the everyone gets younger one, because it would be fucking hilarious.
The
78.
Muppet Babies.
I'm here for Muppet Babies.
Oh,
I'm half expecting that the wave that we felt is something that Taliesin felt back in the Giants area.
Okay, this is.
Hmm? Hmm?
Seems fine.
Is
Wait a
Felix
second.
getting younger?
He's in the room.
Felix, make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh no.
Oh wait, it's a save, not a check. 17.
What's your
Not a-
spell save DC?
Not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. What is my spell save DC? Where is anything on here?
I'm pretty sure a 17 will exceed it, but just want to double
That-
check.
Feels like that shouldn't be a hard question to answer, but
it's on the bottom of your spell sheet.
17.
Oh,
Beats it.
for the briefest moment, you feel fluffy for some reason, and then the moment passes.
Like furry, fluffy?
Just cottony. Nothing seems to happen. You just get this weird feeling and then it passes.
That was weird. Huh.
To be fair, this whole situation's weird.
I mean, is it? I hadn't noticed.
Well, yeah, I'd say on a scale of 1 to 10, this is a solid 6.
What am I?
On a scale of 1 to weird?
looks
Baseline
nuts.
about 3, maybe 4.
Oh.
sometimes.
Huh, that's lower than I would have thought. I mean, no, that's about what I would have thought, but it's lower than I would have thought other people would have thought.
Well,
Anyway, so am I casting at Kanane or am I casting at Alistair? Or
Kanani's ring, if you could touch that ring and cast into it.
Yeah, Kanani will lift her hand up and point to the ring.
how much space is there?
Right now, I believe it's empty. And it
5
would
levels
take-
worth of spells.
Yeah,
Okay,
5
great.
levels worth.
Felix will cast into it a 3rd level sending. And then without lifting their hand, their like 2 fingers off the ring, will also cast a 1st level absorb elements.
Oh,
Okay.
Actually, do you want another one of those just for fun? Or do you want or do you want something else for that last slot, or should I leave it because you're gonna put something else that isn't for me in there? But I've got lots of good stuff.
I
Felix,
believe-
give me 2 wisdom rolls.
Okay, just straight up wisdom checks
Straight up
or
wisdom
saves.
checks.
24 and 6.
Okay. When you cast the sending spell in there, you feel a sudden surge, but you're able to restrain it, push it down, and push the spell into the ring. The second one, you feel the surge again, and this time you lose your grip on it. Roll a d100.
Oh, I think that one went wherever the hex went. 46.
You start floating up towards the ceiling.
Oh, well.
Well, that's new.
Oh, hold on.
I can.
Oh,
I
go
said
oh.
like swim to see if I can get up towards the ceiling because I've never gotten to fly
Alistair's
before.
still
That's
trying to
fun.
hold on to Felix.
I'll just.
And it's probably being lifted up because he's noodly and frail.
I can,
Jaeger
I
was
can't
all-
anchor him! I can't anchor him!
I can run up a wall. Give me a moment.
How high is the ceiling?
I'd say the ceiling in here is probably like 15 feet. But it's kind of like you start going towards the ceiling, and then you start turning and spinning in place, and then you start to slow and stop as Alistair's kind of hanging off of you, and you're just kind of levitating in midair in the very center of the cavern.
Well, that's cool.
Oh, I've never done that before.
Okay,
Do
things
you
are
wanna
getting
try to-
weird.
Jump on 2. Like I've got another foot you can grab if you want, and we'll see. I don't know. Maybe that'll drop me back down, but we could try it.
can I reach and grab Alistair's feet?
Yeah.
Actually, Kanani, if you could cast that spell in Taliesin, if you could prepare to do the thing and close this thing before this place goes the way of Agamemnon, I'd appreciate that!
Well, let me get you out of the way because I don't want your feet in the way.
So about what I said about these places being very unstable.
Shut up and hold his feet.
You're not helping!
Elaine dutifully goes forward to take Alistair's other leg and start pulling him down.
And say, if you could push from the ceiling down... Oh,
On
goodness.
it.
I
Thank
don't
you.
mind.
I'll just.
Can I
sit-
try
how
to
about
gently
this?
shake Alistair off?
I will sit on the ceiling and make sure that he doesn't fly away.
All
I'll
right.
let go of Felix if I'm being shaken.
So, Konane, you have 2 spells in your ring.
Oh, it did make it in there.
It did make it in. It just
Delightful.
triggered a surge in the room.
Well, Kanane is going to reach her hand, get closer, and reach her hand to the rift. Kind of shaking some because magic is weird. And cast Sending to her mother at 3rd level through the ring.
Ayman, I am safe. I am hidden. Do not tell them. Stay strong. I love you. Don't know when I will be home.
Okay. I need you to roll a charisma check.
Just a straight charisma?
Straight charisma.
$22.
22. Need you to roll 1 hit die.
What
And-
is my hit die?
D6.
It's a D6? Okay.
And I also
That
need
is
you to
3.
roll a d20.
That is a 5.
Okay.
I take 3 damage.
3 damage. And that hit die is considered spent. So you reach out towards the flickering lightning. You get zapped by it. You feel that surge flow through you as you cast this spell out into the air and reach out to your mother. And after a moment, a familiar voice comes back to you. Kanane, I love you. Stay safe. Stay away from Otori. It is too dangerous here. Do not worry about me. Just please stay safe. And I need you to roll a d100.
I don't know where my big D100 went.
You can roll 2d10, or you can
I'm gonna
the
roll
built-in roller.
2d10 because I don't know where I put. My desk was clean. All right, 2d10. $62.
All right. So you feel a sudden surge go out through the room. No one else seems aware of it. You feel kind of tingly.
You okay? You don't look that crispy.
What was that? Did you feel? Did you? I guess you feel kind of fluffy, fuzzy sometimes. Oh, anyway, so maybe that's not weird for you.
Did she get back to you?
I immediately look at my skin to make sure I'm not blue.
You are not blue.
I look at my hair.
Long and black.
I look behind myself and turn around in a circle to see if I may have grown an extra tail.
No tails. You're in your human form.
I felt tingly.
You
I
go
do
to
not trust
speak,
it.
and your words come out as a shout.
I feel tingly. Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
She immediately clasps her mouth. I go to speak and attempt to talk quietly. Is it still shouting?
You still shout.
Huh. I don't know if I'm trying to remember if I've ever heard you shout before.
She's
Try
usually pretty
shouting, maybe
soft-spoken.
that'll work.
Yeah, maybe it's opposite day.
She just like squints at Alistair. Opposite day? Like,
Felix is nodding. Yeah, we have that back home. And they're future all the time. Not all the time, because then it would just be normal day, but sometimes.
It'd just be day.
Do you all need a gunslinger chapter? Because I think I want to retire there.
I mean, not there's not a lot of like they're not really a violent people. So shooting, it depends on what you wanted to shoot, but maybe. I don't know if the gunslingers would like it though. Based on what I've seen so far, except for you. But you're always welcome.
Fair enough.
So about the instability in this room.
Right. I think I've got the messages out. Okay. Take the Aetherstone, the 5th size Aetherstone, and Talison's quarterstaff, and the golden amulet or brooch. See if I can.
Do you really want to use that gold? That's your isn't that your mother's brooch?
It is, but at the same time, this is important.
To be fair, since you have a very good size Aetherstone there, I do not think you will need the brooch. The stone will conduct magic far better than any metal will.
It's probably right. Just be a very expensive slag-shaped filigree after that point. I'll toss the brooch back to Taliesin and take out just some regular twine and start to just affix it to the end of the staff.
I'll put the brooch away.
Yeah, I'll hand the staff back to Taliesin. It's just a poking stick now with a spherical glowing gem at one end.
All right.
Alright, so, Rebound. If you feel like there are bees in your teeth, pull away. We're going to be right next to you, right beside you. I've got some healing magic on reserve, and I'll reach into my coat and pull out a spider, mechanical brass spider, and start winding up in preparation.
I look at Alistair. I pat his shoulder. You're going to need to step back. And I actually pocket my my wand, and I'll take the Aether quarterstaff in my right hand.
Hang on 1 second, Taliesin. Hang on. Let me Felix will hop up next to Taliesin. Cast enhance ability. You're a druid, right?
Yes.
Enhance ability Owl's Wisdom. Advantage on wisdom checks.
By hop, you mean swing and swim towards the air and.
Oh, am I still
You're still
levitating?
levitating.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fabulous. Yeah.
When your friends see what you want to do, even Elaine will use his his twin hooked staff and just kind of like hook part of your clothing and just kind of like pull you over.
Delightful. Felix is super into this. And is very is delighted by the ridiculousness of it. Okay, but yeah, so enhanced ability, Owl's Wisdom, and then we'll swim back to a safe distance, assisted by sounds like almost everyone.
Elaine uses his staff to pull you in the direction you want to go.
All right. So once people have moved back, I actually close the distance, put the staff forward to catch a bolt of lightning, and then I have to slam my left hand down onto the stone next to the rift, as in Druidic, the sound of boulders crumbling around or falling down a cliff comes out, and I cast Stone Shape at 5th level to try sealing this up while aiming the quarterstaff back into the hole.
Okay. So first off, roll a wisdom check with advantage because of enhance ability.
That was a good thing to do. That's going to be 21.
21. All right. Roll a one of your hit die.
Oh, yeah, I maxed out on something. 8.
Oh, all right. You take 8 damage. And go ahead and roll a D100 and post it in OOC. I'll come back to that in a second. So you slam your you extend your staff forward, lightning lashes onto it, and you draw the staff back as you swing forward with your other hand and slam it onto the rock beside the rift. Instead of dissipating after shocking your staff, the lightning continues to link your staff to the rift that you are channeling through. You feel that power draw into your staff, channeled into your body, and you metaphysically grab hold of it and channel it back forward into your spell, fueling the power of your stone shape. You feel a tension and a resistance as you push your will against the magic that is trying to push its way through here. But with that charge that you are focusing, you feel for a moment you're in perfect harmony with the resonance of this rift. And you send that energy that is snapping outward, you force it back through. And as that energy goes through, you close the stones behind it. You channel the might of the green through you, and you bring the edges of this jagged rift closed. Two things immediately happen. The first, there is another ripple of magic outward from you. Similar to what Felix had done before, everyone feels a slight shift in the air around them and feels slightly uncomfortable, but nothing seems at odds here. There's a sudden flash of light from where your hand is on the former tear, and light floods the cavern through all of these crystals, and then that light immediately vanishes, and the room is left dark.
The colors drained out. No, it's dark in here.
Felix falls to the floor.
Oh no!
Just like the levitate stopped, right? Like not.
Yep, just abruptly
Okay.
stops.
Okay.
Okay, Kanani's gonna try and talk. She's gonna attempt to talk softly. Does she talk softly?
She speaks softly.
Oh, thank goodness it's gone.
And
It's
she'll-
gone.
She'll summon dancing lights so people who can't see can see.
Holy moly! Taliesin, are you okay?
I think between items and
A little singed, but
everybody can see.
Right,
Elaine
that
will
was
go
intense
over
for
to kind of pat Taliesin down, noticing there's some smoke coming from his cloak.
What are you saying, Alicia?
I think between items and dark vision potion, everybody can see.
I believe so.
Yeah, well, lights are summoned anyway because why not?
Colors. The colors do.
Everything's in a purple hue.
Well,
So,
that was something.
well, it was a rift. Now it's a very colorful geode.
Maybe another one for the collecting.
What kind of crystals are these?
Maybe if we had time, I could look around and spend a day figuring that out. But we should probably tell Faravex the good news that the that drafty hole beneath his home is no longer able to let the rats in.
Oh,
you-
that's a good idea. Oh, go ahead, Kanane.
Thank you. Do you think we should maybe take some to Fairfax? I think he would like new gems.
I think
I
so.
was going to suggest that as well.
That's very thoughtful. I can ask if he would Yeah, he probably. I mean, if he can't get down here to see them himself, that would make sense.
All right, let's break off some. Bring him up.
Magic
Along with
token time. I'll go ahead and talk to Felix. Not Felix. I'm Felix. Faravax. Open the tooth. Hi. We closed the thing. There's cool rocks. We're gonna bring you some.
Cool rocks. And he's just gonna be sitting there twiddling his dragon
Yep.
fingers like, cool rocks.
So, does Felix say this out loud?
It's
Or is
not
it
entirely clear to
psychic?
me.
I think that ability says it like they just think it to the
A
person.
telepath. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
Gotcha.
telepathic.
Okay.
telepathic message.
Got a thing or two to say about cool rocks, but if it's telepathic, then I got no skin in that game.
Okay, I told him.
All right, let's gather what we've got, and maybe leave. Yeah.
Yes.
And then, so maybe you can take the monster thing out of the bag and put the rocks in. So, because I remember Jaeger wants his trophy.
Oh yeah, Jaeger. Trophy, and we'll trade off.
Indeed.
I'll hand my quarterstaff to Alistair so he can retrieve the makeshift Aetherstone mounted to it, and
Yeah,
then I'll start heading up.
Has that thing been pulped? Is it still like what condition is the staff in now? Or what condition is the stone in?
The stone is completely done.
Oh, it's gone dull. I'll take the broken stone and remove it from the quarterstaff, which I'm assuming is still a quarterstaff.
It is. The end where the stone was tied to seems burnt, though.
Nothing that bending can't fix.
All right.
Adds character.
Elaine lingers briefly to kind of run his fingertips across the wall where the rift was. Gonna smile faintly as he turns to follow everyone as you head back down the tunnel.
Indeed.
You head back into the cavern of the Zorn. And you start to make your way over to the shaft that leads up into Faravax's cavern.
When did Emmett actually grab the Zorn, or did he only just rip off an arm?
He
Just
ripped off an arm, which is
And he-
kind of... He's having a hard time holding on to this as it seems to be degrading into dirt and mud very quickly.
And you said there was like a soft, squishy underlayment of it, other than the stones on the outside. Is that still like a flesh bag situation happening there?
It seems to be dissolving into a kind of mud.
Okay. I was gonna waste a spell, but at this point, I'll just let it fucking go.
Emmett's kind of trying to like do that thing to kind of hold the goopy appendage in his arms as he follows after everyone.
Oh, Emmett. Oh,
Trying to carry.
you're doing your best, buddy. It's all right, pal.
I will take my Alarani cloak of stuff that I had left behind for like the metal bits and the crystal
remnants.
bits, and I'll head up.
Okay. Nothing ambushes you in this cavern.
Yay.
Cowards.
As you all start to climb up the narrow shaft and once more emerge into the giant chamber that is Faravax's den. As you climb out into the chamber, help one another emerge from the hole, The first thing you see is a absence of the large dragon, and you see a light from the interior of the airship. Fairly bright, kind of like orange, faintly pulsing light. And as you all emerge and kind of take stock of the situation, there's a loud creaking noise, and you see Faravax emerge from the inside of the airship.
Felix
Fairfax
waves.
He's got a race car bed.
does have a race car bed.
Oh, too close, too close, too close. Oh, hello, sir. We come bearing the corpses of your enemies, or part of the corpses, and shinies.
He kind of looms over everyone and lowers his head down, and you see his nostrils flaring as he sniffs the party.
I will slowly take my bundled cloak down and open it up, and then I will step back so that he can see the bits of his horde.
He reaches forward and kind of stirs one claw through it, and you hear a deep growl in his throat. You squashed these bugs.
Indeed, we did.
Very much so.
Did Jaeger actually bring up one of them as for his trophy?
He did. It's in the bag of holding.
Okay.
And he's gonna. Might as well just take it out now.
Oh
Yeah.
no, did it dissolve into mud in the bag of holding?
No, don't say that. No.
And we closed the hole that they came out of, so they will not be back.
And we found you Kovacs.
Very, very pretty crystals.
There's more down there, but it's kind of a tight squeeze.
So, Jaeger, you pull out the Kargra and present it to Faravax.
I do.
All right, you see him reach down with one claw, and he picks it from you and holds it in his grasp. Not really struggling at all to lift it, and you see him look at it, and the lips peel back from his teeth, and you see his grip begin to tighten, and you see the creature's corpse start to burst as he crushes it in his grasp.
Oh, that's nasty.
Well,
He then tosses it aside.
Kanane is staring wide-eyed, like, oh god, that could be any one of us.
not how we were planning to dissect it, but it's okay. It's fine.
It's on the floor near you.
Yeah, it's squished.
It's on top of where he drew one. It's right there.
The spitting image.
So at that, he looks over at you all and gives another huff and looks around his chamber, looks back at you. You may take one.
One?
I don't think we want any more of those big bug things. But thank you. They're really gross. Oh, I don't know, Jaeger, do you want one?
No.
You say that, and you see him reach over to the nearest pile of gems, and he just uses one claw to kind of brush it out in front of the party. All who fought may have one.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, we thank you, Veravax, for your
In front
kindness.
of COVID head tilt.
You get
Clinkle's
the
just like twinkly, shiny.
you get the strong impression that he is giving everyone permission to choose one item from his horde.
Hell
One
yes.
item each, or one item as a group?
One
He
each.
did say everyone who fought may have one. Now,
Okay.
he doesn't get a lot of visitors, so his horde is primarily gems and metals. You can choose to find one at random, or if you're looking for something in particular, you may roll for it. But you gotta let me know what you're looking for.
Oh
Kanani
yeah.
definitely would be looking for something purple. She really likes the color purple.
All right, give me a investigation check, Kanane.
That is a 15.
Okay. As you look through the dragon's hoard around you, and he didn't indicate where to take one from, and he doesn't seem to get in the way of anyone looking around at the other piles of gems and metals, so you do get the opportunity to kind of browse before you pick one. And you eventually find a palm-sized sapphire that isn't a pure blue, but leans more towards that transparent purple. It seems to move from a transparent purple to kind of a medium solid color in the center.
Ooh, she likes that. That's pretty.
So you can add one purple sapphire to your inventory. I would make a note for everyone claiming your items to mark that this is from Faravax. At
Okay.
least until you get it appraised.
As I'm trying to add an item and I can't when the windows popped out.
You mentioned metals, so Alice just gonna root around for some metal, some ore or nice colored rocks that look like they have ore in them. Though, guys, should we accept this bounty or
Ask for a favor.
perhaps ask for a favor?
Can I take a look around? But I'm gonna look for shed dragon scales.
That was actually what Taliesin was about to ask. I was just waiting for an opening.
That's perfectly possible. Roll investigation checks, both of you, Say and Taliesin.
Jaeger's gonna do that too, because metals are cool, but you know he's not a magician, so he can't do things with them.
And see, Klinkle's thinking, would it be rude if I pop detect magic to see if there's anything actually magical in this file?
No, that would be rude. That would be smart.
Using my inspiration die.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Felix will
Much
glance at,
better.
look over at Alistair.
How do you spell Faravax's name?
Ferrovax.
One at a time? Because my hearing is awful.
One
Sam?
person or one letter? Oh,
And
Thanks,
Jaeger
Doctor.
got it posted in the chat.
That's
All right.
better.
What were you looking for, Felix?
Felix is looking at Alistair and will cast message. And whisper. Did you say something about asking for a favor instead of a prize? Did I hear that?
Yeah. I don't know how Faravax rolls, and he's kind of grumpy. But if he could, I don't know, add above the refuge to his daily routine of soaring around, maybe keep an eye on the town, like a neighbor.
We can
During wartime.
ask. Get message again. We can ask. Let's wait until people aren't rooting around in his hoard because he offered them too, but I think he's watching real carefully. And then we'll ask.
Sure. Is it rude to not accept a? I feel like it's rude if I didn't pick up something from the spoil.
I mean, I
I
think
think
it's
it varies.
really significant. Really, it gets really, and this is again via message. Really, it's a big gesture. I don't know if it's rude but you haven't not accepted yet. You're just gonna ask for. We'll see. We'll find out if you think that's rude. We'll all
Okay,
find
yeah.
out.
Sure.
Oh, we'll all find out.
I'm going to investigate and look for something unique to build out of. I'm not going to claim it yet. Let's see if I can
Okay.
find something in case he says no.
Okay. Go ahead, Jaeger.
Since he probably can't find a dragon scale, something clearly valuable like a diamond or something would be cool. But
Okay. Roll a d8 for me. And I'll circle back to you. So, Taliesin and Say. I'll circle back to you in a second, too.
Sorry, didn't mean to.
And is this a raw crystal?
It is, yeah, it's a raw opal that you found, or sapphire that you found.
Raw sapphire. Okay. I'm just looking through all the crystal icons and I'm like, which one will work?
Alistair, roll a investigation check in the background. All right. Say and Taliesin, the two of you go rooting around for dragon scales. And with that high of a roll, you go about your search in a more methodical way because you noticed certain habits that Faravax has displayed. So you start looking in the piles near the walls, particularly the walls that seem to be jutting out, where the rocks seem to have been worn smooth. And
Looking where he scratches himself.
And you do find in one of these hoards 2 iron dragon scales. Each scale is about the size of your hand with your fingers outstretched.
Fantastic, I'll take it.
I will take it.
All right. Jaeger, you find a raw, uncut, fist-size emerald. A very clear, transparent, deep, bright green gem.
Ooh. Kanani's player would want that. Emeralds are my favorite. That's funny.
Same.
I was gonna say if it's clear, it's probably worth more than a diamond.
It is. A clear emerald. Ooh. Lots of money.
As mentioned, be sure to mark these jewels are from Faravax until you get it appraised. This will help figure out the values later. Alistair, what did you roll?
21.
21. All right. So you start looking through the hoard for something particularly rare. You're not looking at the gems. You're looking for metals because you're a maker. You look for ingredients. You see there's chunks of iron. You see chunks of copper. Bits and pieces of other metal. But as you kind of like probe on some of the piles closer to his airship, you find chunks of a much harder, darker metal. You recognize adamantine. You find chunks of metal that's almost shines through the stone that's still kind of encrusted on it, and you recognize from the weight that this is unrefined mithril. You found the right place for exquisitely rare material, and then you lay eyes on something you can't identify at first. It's a darker metal. It seems similar to iron, but the color is wrong. Amidst the ore, you see almost a speckling of whites. Want to say impurities because that's the first thing that jumps to mind, but these look like part of the metal itself. It feels dense when you pick it up.
Oof. This is heavy.
But you know from looking it over that this is not a base metal. It is not adamantine and it is not mithril.
I'll nod and pick it up, look it over. Hey, doctor,
Yes?
maybe you can help me identify this later. You know your way around the smithing kit.
Sure thing. Anything you need.
Just kind of lug this ore stone back toward the party.
Felix, are you looking around for anything?
The Discord window mostly. Felix will look for any chance there's a crystal ball
It could
that
be a
looks like
crystal
it's
ball.
worth maybe 1,000 gold pieces or so. Failing that, a silver mirror or a font that could be filled with holy water.
Give me a investigation check.
With guidance. Ooh, hey, 22.
22.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you don't find a mirror or a crystal ball, but you do find a chunk of crystal about as big as a crystal ball. It looks like a diamond. A very large diamond.
Wow, cool. Felix will sort of lift it. You take both hands to lift it, and it's an effort.
You think this could be shaved down into a shape of your desire, and would probably serve the function you have in mind. And in a pinch, maybe another function.
That seems fine. Thank you. It's very pretty. Alistair had a question.
Yeah, I guess I did. I kind of look up to Faravax. Is he like being impassive or still glaring at us? The icon's hard to tell.
He was watching everyone as you rooted around in his horde, keeping a very close eye. Not saying anything, but anyone who happened to glance in his direction would know that he is watching you. Kind of as everyone claims their items, he kind of arches his back and flexes his wings slightly and starts to move towards the entrance to his den, but never moving too far from the group.
Meander back toward the group and away
He's
from
like,
the horde.
I told you you could do this thing, but
All right, you found your items. All right, get out.
What
But
does
he's not
Elaine
so
get?
crude.
Elaine definitely fought it with us, and he saw that at least some of us grabbed scales.
Oh yeah,
I'm
he definitely
curious what
rooted
he
around.
did.
Also, Klinkle, I don't think I checked on you.
I did mention, like, would it be rude to, like, pop up detect magic to see if there's anything
Yeah.
magical?
All right, you're gonna pop up detect magic.
The entire room glows.
You're not far off. The glow in his room comes from veins of aetherstone all around, so those glows become brighter in your eyes. And you see a lot of ambient magical glowing to your eyes throughout his hoard. It doesn't seem like there's specific items. Nothing has been refined. But it seems like a lot of these gems carries some bit of raw magic within them. Even the items that your party has carried, it seems like there's power there, as these gems have kind of soaked in magic rather than generated itself.
Hence your make sure you note where this comes from.
Mm. So while nothing is explicitly magical in terms of magic item, these all carry motes of potential within them.
Then I guess I'll use pattern seeking and find something that looks like it's out of place with its little bit of glow.
Okay. Give me an investigation check.
Only a 14. But hey, 10 on die.
14. All right, 1 second.
I would like to think that while I'm doing this, I'm literally doing the like Corvid hop shuffle thing.
I know what I want, but I need to check the info first. All right, there we go. All right. So you go towards some of the brighter glows in his hoard, and amongst the gemstones, you find a rather large fist-size aether stone that is glowing with a steady golden light.
Ooh.
Clinkle, give me an Arcana check.
I mean, a 13's not bad considering I rolled a 5.
Yeah, and you've done, even with your alchemical studies, and plus with Alistair explaining when you first found that Aetherstone geode, that Aetherstone, the color of an Aetherstone indicates what kind of magic it's associated with.
Hmm.
You can't recall exactly what gold is associated with, but you recall it being extremely rare.
Good.
Yeah, it has. You know that alchemists really like golden aether stones for certain experiments that have to do with turning one metal into another as one of many possible uses.
Quiet, happy bird noises.
Clinkle's just cooing as she follows along with everyone.
Wow.
All right. Elaine did pull a gem out. And actually, as everyone is heading towards the following after Faravax, he actually comes up next to Felix and holds out a fist-sized diamond. Yours is much larger, but I think you might have more use for this than I would. Felix has either stepped aside or is looking for the Discord window.
Oh, he was talking to me?
Yep. He's presented you with a palm-sized diamond.
I don't really want to be greedy, and I think I kind of have what I need. And then we were gonna. Alistair had a question for him too, so yeah, I don't think I should have too many things.
I understand.
Already asking kind of a lot, yeah, right?
He winks at you and just tosses the diamond up, catches it, and proceeds to walk with everyone.
So catching up to Faravax as the party kind of meanders, following after the dragon as he escorts us out of his house. Alistair's gonna kind of jog after him. Sir, Mr. Faravax, your Highness, goodness gracious, how do you address a dragon? Great and mighty Faravax, have you considered the word of our news that we shared earlier?
You hear him make kind of a snuffling sound. He continues to walk.
Right, well, I'm certain that these forces pose very little threat to you. Whether or not they have a dragon, that's probably not really much of a concern to you. However, the folks to the north of you, the refuge, the ones who bring you the goats, they do seem to revere you, and they do seem to enjoy you as a neighbor. It'd be a shame if something were to happen to them, and they were no more. Would it be too much to ask of you to perhaps consider lending your aid in the events to come? Even if it's just to keep an eye on them.
So you speak to him as he leads you to the entrance of the den and then leads you up through the curving tunnel towards the ledge where you first met him. He doesn't respond to you. Not for a while. You get off, you get to the head of the opening to the tunnel, emerge onto the ledge into the bright afternoon light, which is almost blinding after all the dim lights in the caves of Faravax's den. The dragon approaches the edge of the cliff and kind of stands there for a moment, looking out over the mountain ravines ahead of him. And you hear that growl rise up in his throat again. I will not allow any creature to intrude on my territory.
I glance at my compatriots.
I will protect what is mine.
Jaeger nods swiftly to Alistair.
Yeah, Felix is also nodding enthusiastically.
Looking to Felix nodding, looking back to Faravax and nodding.
Elaine is also nodding vehemently.
Nod.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
We're all nodding.
Cool, we're all on the same page then, yeah. Neighbors.
Decisive nod like that is what is proper.
Looking out for each other like neighbors do. Cool. Good chat.
Elaine is like very quickly like backing away towards the path leading down from the ledge.
I'll come see you again sometime with a goat, and I won't talk so much next time. Probably not quite as much. Thank you.
You hear him give kind of a huff as you go. Oh.
Maintain eye contact while looking backwards.
Thank you, Fairfax. May you no longer have troubles.
Still not looking at the party, he sits down on right at the edge of the lip outside of his cave.
May today mark the day that I talked to a dragon?
You didn't say anything to him. What are you talking about?
I said words. Words were said.
When? When did you say words,
I
Jaeger?
said words, and I will not have you destroy the sanctity of this memory in my mind.
You
had
could have talked to a
imaginary
dragon before
words?
without knowing it.
That is true. Thank you, Felix. You always know exactly what to say.
Wait, does that mean that anyone could be a dragon and we wouldn't know it?
Yes, even
no.
you.
Perish the thought. Goodness gracious.
I wish I was
Funny.
a dragon. I'd rather be a dragon. I think I lost.
Maybe next time something crazy happens with your magic, instead of your skin, your hair turning blue, you'll turn into a dragon.
And then I will sit on you.
That would be very fair.
And
I look,
as good.
I was gonna say I look back at Faravax as everyone seems to be like moving on. What exactly is your territory?
Wherever I lay my eyes upon.
I look out from his perch. Can I see the storm from here?
You cannot see it from here. That's several days away.
Well, I thought we were like on top of a mountain ledge that was at the in the oh wait the yeah. It's still technically be able to see it if it was not blocked
You're-
off by other mountain ranges, but I can't see that map right now, so I can't tell if we should possibly.
Yeah, where his lair is, that particular area is kind of blocked off. But as you kind of look out and consider his words, he continues, I can fly very far.
Then I will get my bearings really quickly, just because, and I will try pointing in the direction of the storm. Well, they have a giant storm right over there, protecting something that's helping them get stronger, hiding them from you. A few days flight if you're not pushing yourself.
You see he raises a claw and begins to pick at his teeth.
I shrug. We're going to take the fight to them as fast as we can, but that's going to be the one area we can't get to very fast.
You see he rises, turns around in a circle, and sets himself down on the ledge.
I'll give a courteous nod, and I will thank him for the scale that he allowed me to have, and then I'll get back with the rest of the group.
All right. As Towson joins the group, as they try to determine who among them might actually be a dragon, we're going to call it there for the night.
It's Felix. Felix is the dragon.
I was gonna say Elaine.
Feel like
You don't know. Maybe that's what Elaine has to tell Alistair.
I'm not really your father. I'm
No,
just
they're both
a dragon that
dragons.
stole your father's body.
both
I have
dragons.
been lying. I have been lying to you. I am a dragon. All right, cool. Well, thanks for the continued lies, jerk. I thought we could be serious for a moment. I'm going to bed.
Just hit him in the kneecap with a shillelagh.
Let's have Emmett punch him.
Yes, please.
Oh, no. Oh, that's it.
Thanks all. I'm wiped and have a couple of things I need to do before I can go to bed. But thank you for game. I will catch you elsewhere.
Thank
Peace
you for
out.
playing.
How long
Bye.
is that?
Thank you for
Thanks for
playing.
game.
Yeah, thanks for game.
And because
Thank
I
you all for
do
playing.
the character sheet shuffle, that is a golden aether stone. How big?
Fist sized,
Yeah, fist size.
but not Jaeger fist size. Whew. Alright. I'm going to slip away into IMs despite the conjecture that is rattling around inside my brain.
I will
Same.
also